Hello and welcome to this week's Torah Outreach Program, Erev Shabbos, Burst of Inspiration. Today's Burst of Inspiration is dedicated by Mr. Moshe Bloorian. So it's close for all the soldiers fighting in Eretz Yisrael, and especially it should be a close for all those hostages that should be let out immediately. This week's Parsha, Parshas Tetzaveh, talking about the different clothing, uniforms worn by the Kohanim in the Mishkan, in the temporary Beis HaMikdash that was built or put together in front of Har Sinai, Mount Sinai. Later traveled with the Jewish people, was disassembled, traveled with the Jewish people through their 40 years in the desert, and later came into Eretz Yisrael with them and stood almost until the first actual Beis HaMikdash was built. We're told the reason for the Mishkan was a show of forgiveness, that the Jewish people had done something horrible with the Egel HaZahav, with the golden calf, and they had disconnected themselves from their relationship with God right after God made this covenant with them by giving them the Torah at Mount Sinai. They were almost wiped out, but Moshe and the Jewish people prayed for forgiveness. HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgave them and assigned them to build this Mishkan, which was a sign and a conduit for a relationship between us and our Creator. And therefore, many things in the Mishkan are a reminder of that sign that we have, that connection that we have with God. For instance, the Avnei HaShoam, the Shoham stones that sat on the shoulders of the Kohen Gadol, a type of precious gem, rested on the Kohen Gadol's shoulders, and carved, engraved into the stone, were the names of the Shvatim, the 12 tribes of the Jewish people. Why? Says the Kli Yakar that when the luchos, when the tablets were broken, it's as if a package was broken, and out of the package was lost the relationship that we had with God, the relationship that we had with Moshe. We forgot our responsibilities to God, and at the same time, it's as if God forgot us. The Shoam stones projected the exact opposite message. It was two stones in place of the two tablets. The word Shoham, Shin, Hey, Mem, if you rearrange those letters, they spell out Hashem, the name, meaning the name of God. They also spell out Moshe. So we have, alluding to the two tablets that were broken, the relationship that was lost with God, the relationship that was lost with Moshe, were now put back in this same package. And then the fact that as if we forgot God and He forgot us, the names of the tribes, 6 on one side, 6 on the other, were a way of showing God, showing us that God didn't forget us. That every time the Kohen Gadol walked into the Heichal, the outer chamber of the Mishkan, God saw those names and remembered His people. And through those names, we remember Him. So all those things that were lost when the Egel HaZahav, when the golden calf was made and the tablets were broken were now put back in those shoham stones as a show of the relationship between us and God, us and our Torah, us and Moshe, and also us, between us. The 12 tribes were combined on those two stones. There is a famous saying that is a quote from the Zohar. Yisrael ve'oraisa ve'kudsha b'richu chadhu. The Jewish people, the Torah, and God are all one entity. Mark Twain, and I've quoted this many, many times, has a composition called Concerning the Jews. And he mentions how we've gone through so much suffering and we've had so many enemies, and yet we rise above it when they're lost in history and there's nothing left of them but relics. We're still here. And he ended up with a question. What is the secret to their survival? What is the secret to their immortality? I've always thought, and I've always said, the secret is we're connected to Torah. Torah is connected to God. God is immortal. And as long as we connect ourselves to Him through His Torah, we remain immortal, just like Him. But I think now there's more. And that is, we also need to remain connected to each other. The 12 tribes are on those stones. The 12 tribes are also on the breastplate of the Kohen Gadol. As long as we're connected to each other, and we all remain connected to the Torah and God, we remain immortal and undefeatable. Now is the time to reconnect to our Torah, our God, and each other. Shabbos.